Good morning, students. Welcome to your 8th class. Completed your 7th standard and now all of you entered into the 8th standard. Love to see you all through this video, dear students. Because of this COVID pandemic situation, we are unable to meet face to face, but our teachers are in touch with you through these videos. So, dear students, today we are going to start our social first lesson, reading and analyzing of maps. Reading and analyzing of maps. You just recollect your 6th class and 7th class topic. What is a map? How many types of maps are there? What are the uses of the maps? If you observe very clearly and recollect the information, you can clearly say map gives us some information. Through symbols it gives some information. Through directions it gives some information. Through colors it gives some information. And through scale it gives the information about the distance. And we have different types of maps. We have physical maps. We have political maps. We have thematic maps, and we have seen how the maps are useful to us. Dear students, in this particular class, we are going to see about reading and analyzing of maps. So before going to that, let us see the difference between a photo and a map. You just see what is a photo. If you just click it, if you take a photo, and you just take a map, a lot of difference is there between a photo and a map. In photograph, everything is clearly mentioned with each and every penny point on the land surface. If you take a photo, everything will be covered. If you take a photo, all the trees will be covered, all the lands will be covered, all the rivers, water. If a bird is there on the tree, that is also will be covered. Everything will be taken in the photograph. Dear students, but in the map, when you draw a map, you leave many things. If I draw the map of a school, I'll just draw the outskirt of a school. For example, this is the map of the school. So this is the entrance, and here 2 windows are there, and here we have the classes. So like this, just I draw the map on a scale. I can't draw exactly all the points on the map, but if I take a photograph of a map of the school, easily you can find everything very clearly mentioned, everything what is there on the wall or what is there on the school board, everything will be clearly visible in the photo. But it is not so in the map. So we have a lot of difference between a map and a photo. So important answer, in photograph everything will be mentioned, but in the map you cannot mention everything. So in photograph you can clearly see all the rivers, all the oceans, all hills, mountains, peaks, all the roads, everything you can see in a photograph if you take a photograph. But if you make it in a map, you will exclude, you will leave something and you will draw on a map only few things which has to be exposed, which has to be explained, or which information is to be given to the others. Only those things will be drawn on the map to a scale. So a lot of differences between map and a scale. Now let us see how the maps are there in the olden ages. Now the technical advancement, maps, you come across digital maps, you come across all the printed maps, but priorly some thousands of years ago, we don't have that sort of technology, right? We don't have that sort of science and technological development to make the maps accurately, to make the maps perfectly. So dear students, if you observe, during the olden days, even the Sumerians, the people who belonged to the Iraq at the time, the people who belonged to the Iraq at the time, the Sumerians, they made some of the maps nearly some thousands of years ago, some 4,000 of years ago, they made the maps. Some 4,000 of years ago, they made the maps on the clay tablets. They made the maps on the clay tablets. You see, you know what are clay tablets? You can look into the textbook. You can see the clay tablets there. Sumerians used it to have lot of land under the temples. So in order to point out them very clearly on the map, they used the clay tablets to inculcate these lands on the maps. In the same way, Babylonians, even these people are also belongs to the Iraq. These are also Iraq people. Now it is called Iraq. At the time, the Babylonians, even those people also made some maps. If you see the Babylonians, they first believed that the world is in the shape of a arc or a circle. Yes, that's true. That when there is no science and technology at that time itself, they decided that the earth was round in shape, and they made a circle, and they made an inner circle. And in the inner circle, they made all the villages, lakes, rivers and everything, and made their Babylonia as the center of the globe or the center of the map. They put the Babylonia at the center of the map. Even these were made on the clay tablets. On the clay, they started to make these sort of articles, and they inculcated, they made some prints on the clay tablets which were used as maps at that time. Slowly technology has been changed. Later, if you observe very clearly, some of the Greek geographers, so we have seen about the people of Sumerians, the people of the Babylonians, and if you observe the Greek people, the Greece country. So the people of the Greece, Anaximander, if you observe, one of the geographer, Anaximander, and Herodotus and Herodotus, these are all some of the important Greek geographers who made the maps. Wonderful geographers. You know who is a geographer? Who moves around the geography? They are called as the geographers, and these the Greek geographers, Anaximander and Herodotus and Herodotus, all these they made some maps. Is it clear? And these maps which are made by the Greek people are very useful to many people, and they traveled widely on the ships throughout the world. They started to travel throughout the world, and all their observations, everything they made on the maps, and those are the first maps what was widely used, the maps which were made by the Greek people. And these Greek people, they divided the world into the 3 continents. They divided, the Greek people, they divided. Now you know at present how many continents are there. How many continents are there, dear children? Yes, 7 continents are there. But at that time, they felt that they divided only into 3 continents. So one is Europe continent, and another one is Libya, which is at present called as Africa, Libya, which is called as Africa, and the other one is Asia. These are the 3 continents which they separated by Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea, dear students, Mediterranean Sea. They separated these continents with the Mediterranean Sea. Is it clear? So that's about the Greek. Now what we are discussing is that how in olden days the maps are used by the people. The Sumerians used the maps, the Babylonians used the maps, and even the Greek people also used the maps. And dear children, after these Greeks, you come across about the Romans. You know, Romans. One Roman emperor is very famous. Who is Alexander? Alexander the Great, who conquered the whole world. You know Alexander the Great. Have you heard about the story of Alexander the Great? So let me say an important point. When the Alexander the Great is about to die, when Alexander the Great is about to die, he was at a very young age, he died. From Rome, even he came to India, all the places he occupied, dear students. So when he was about to die, he asked to keep his hands out of his grave and to cover his body. So when he asked why to keep your hands out, dear students, you know what Alexander the Great has said? I am a great emperor. I have conquered many countries. I have much wealth. I have many horses, many jewelry, many gold, many kings are there, many queens are there. But after I die, I do not take anything with me. I go to heaven or hell with my empty hands. So keep my empty hands outside and cover my body under the earth, he said. Dear students, okay, that's a separated topic. So this Alexander the Great, he also used many maps. The Romans used many maps, and Romans were the first people who started to draw longitudes and latitudes on the earth. Latitudes and longitudes on the maps. Romans are the first people who started to draw latitudes and longitudes on the earth. So dear students, whenever they started to sail, they observed some places which receive the sun, midday of the sun at the same point of time. So they started to connect all the places from north to south, all the places which have the same sunshine at same point of time. They started to connect all the places and they started to draw longitudes. You know, on the earth, longitudes are drawn like this. You know, 0 longitude is the Greenwich meridian which passes through the London. So you will be learning more about these latitudes and longitudes in your next classes. In the same way, they started to draw about the latitudes also. Even they started to draw the latitudes where the same shadow they have observed. They observed the same shadow and they started to draw the lines and they made some grids. This is called as a grid. A place which is made with latitudes and longitudes, all these are called as the grids. And they started to identify the places on the grids. So these Romans are very intelligent people where they used these latitudes and longitudes in making of the maps. So dear students, we started about the maps. We have seen about the difference between a photo and a map. And we started to see how the maps are used by the people of the earlier ages. The Sumerians, the Babylonians, and the Greek people, and the Roman people. Is it clear? So just go through the video once again if you do not understand, and go through the textbook, dear students, and note down the important points and the names of the people. I clearly say one thing: those who want to become an IAS officer, who want to become an IPS officer, who want to crack civil services, group 1, group 2, group 3, everybody concentrate on the social studies. Go through the current affairs, go through the news regularly, and if you really keep in touch with the social studies, read well and observe the news, everything, you will clearly, I can say, you will crack any competitive examination and you will become a very big group 1 officer or IAS officer. So follow these guidelines, dear students. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Love you all. Signing off. Thank you so much.